Yeah, we live. Let's wait for the brothers and sisters to get on there and we'll get started. Yeah, come on in, Israel. Tuesday night Brotherhood class. About to get started shortly. Come on in. Shalom, Courtney. Shalom, Yahushua Bashem Yahushua. So come on in, y'all. (7 to 9 p.m.) every Tuesday night is the Brotherhood class. So you already know the topic is going to be on Brotherhood, which you can never get enough of. So why don't y'all go ahead and make sure I sign in. Get your pens and paper ready. Get these scriptures, you know what I'm saying? We get started in a little bit. As a few more brothers and sisters get in the class. All right, y'all? So y'all bear with me. We'll get started. All right, shalom, everybody. We are the Isupk started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. You know what I'm saying? Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible. And that truth is this book has to deal with the history of so-called Black Hispanics and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? From Genesis to Revelations is only talking about one nation of people, one group of people, and that is the children of Israel, right? And if you're a so-called Black man, so-called Hispanic man, Native Indian man or woman, you know what I'm saying? That's who you descend from. You descend from the 12 tribes of Israel by nationality and by bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Your forefathers are the sons of Jacob, right? And what we do is teach our people our history, teach our people to come back to the laws of the Most High and serve in our power. You know what I'm saying? So that way the Lord can give us back our identity, give us back our land, and give us back our government. You know what I'm saying? Once we get all of those things back, we'll be able to rule over the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? We won't be oppressed in the ghettos like we are today. We won't be oppressed in the borders and the barrios like we are today and in the reservations. You know what I'm saying? The Lord sent Yahweh, you know what I'm saying, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, to give salvation to only so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And that's the truth according to the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Not my words, but what's written in these records, right? So being that it's Tuesday, we're going to touch on brotherhood. The topic on brotherhood is the hypocrisy of Pharisees. Right? So we're going to touch on what is a Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? How do you identify a modern day Pharisee? You know what I'm saying? What was their role during the time of Christ as well? So we're going to touch on a few scriptures on that. I got my brother with me, Trooper Canuck. You know what I'm saying? Going to rock it out with me. You know what I'm saying? Like we always do every Tuesday from 7 to 9. If you're looking to join the school, man, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Get in contact with us. We on Google as well. You type in Isupk Florida, we'll pop up. There's a phone number on there. You can call that number for anything, questions, counsel, whatever you need. You know what I'm saying? This is what we're here for, all right? So we're going to go ahead and get started. All right. So first, I want to ask, everybody on the chat, of course, what I'm saying, if y'all can tell me, right, what is a Pharisee? If anybody want to answer that? Oh yeah, so like you too as well, Trooper Canuck, if you want to answer.
Oh, Colonel Constantine, sir. I thought you was waiting for the online folks.
Nah,
The Pharisee was the body of men that was supposed to be governing the children of Israel in Jerusalem. They were supposed to be the elders, or what you will call today the watchmen, the leaders.
right, exactly right. You know what I'm saying? At the time of Christ, they were considered the leaders of Israel, right? These so-called leaders at that time was appointed not by the Most High, but was appointed by the Romans, right? To keep the people pacified, to make sure that they was in order and not getting out of line. You know what I'm saying? They was the so-called religious leaders of that time, right? So being that at that time you had the Pharisees as the religious leaders, you know what I'm saying? Under the children over the children of Israel, right? What is the number one religion of so-called Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians today?
Lucky, sir.
Go ahead.
Is it Christianity or bet is it Christianity?
Right. Christianity dominates as a religious organization within our community. Right. You go into any Black neighborhood, you find on one street three churches within that street. You know what I'm saying? You go to Mexico, a place like Mexico and the barrios, they into Christianity as well. You know what I'm saying? Catholicism and statues of Mary and rosaries and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You go to the reservations and they practice the same thing, right? So this will be the prominent religion of so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? And you have appointed so-called preachers and prophets and pastors and evangelists that's supposed to be teaching the people the Bible, right? But instead of them teaching us the Bible, all they have fed us throughout the years is Christianity. And they taught us how to be good Christians, or how to be in the Catholic Church, you know what I'm saying, and following those religions and not teaching us about the Bible, right? Your pastor will be considered a modern day Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? These churches are nothing filled with Pharisees and Sadducees, right? The same way they are the leaders, they were the leaders back then. The Pharisees back then was the leaders of the children of Israel. Well, spiritually today, your pastor played that same role. You know what I'm saying? Your pastor will play that same role today, spiritually. You know what I'm saying? They are the ones that's supposed to be teaching us how to serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And they have failed at their job the same way the Pharisees has failed at their job. You know what I'm saying? And they were the number one group that went against the gospel of Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? The gospel of salvation for all the children of Israel. You know what I'm saying? They was the main ones that spoke against Christ and had crucified. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't the people that was against Christ, but it was the Pharisees and the leaders and the rich men that was in cahoots with the Romans that had Christ killed. Right. So my first verse, I'm gonna give you Matthew 23. Now, matter of fact, let me get John chapter 1, and you can start me at verse 11. Let's get John chapter 1, verse 11. I want to start there first.
Gun on the con, sir. Thank John, right, sir? Salaki.
Khan Baba Kashab, you can sing John.
Con on the con. I have it, sir.
All right, go ahead, soldier.
This is the book of John, chapter 1, verse 11.
Hmm?
He came unto his own, and his own received him not.
Right. What is that talking about? Right. A lot of people will read this scripture and be like, "Well, that means Christ came for everybody on this earth." Right. What is this verse talking about?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
This verse is talking about when Yahweh came to his own people, the Israelites, the children of Israel. When he
He
came
came to
into
the
his
children.
own,
Right. To his own. Right. Meaning the people that belong to him. Right. Well, what precept we can use to prove that he came for his people?
Salaki, sir. Is it I know it's in Matthew where it say he will save his people from their sins, paraphrasing. Salaki.
Matthew 1 and 21. Let's get that real quick just to show that he came for his people. All right, let's get Matthew 1 and 21.
Con, sir, I have it.
You go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 21. And she shall bring forth a son.
Who's that she?
Salaki, sir, is talking about Mary.
Right. Read on.
And thou shalt call his name Yahweh.
So this is who we talking about. We're talking about Yahushua, right? Who the world knows as Jesus Christ. Read on.
For he shall save his people,
You shall save who?
his people,
Who?
his people
Read on.
from their sins.
Well, who was Christ's people then? If he came to save his people.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
The Israelites, sir.
Right. That's who Christ descended from. He's from the tribe of Judah, right? Descended from the house of David. So being from the tribe of Judah, which is one of the tribes of Israel, if he's coming for his people, that means he's only coming from the people of his race, of the people of his nationality, of his bloodline. You know what I'm saying? That is a possessive noun, meaning the people that belong to him, right? This is who Christ came for. He only came for his people. So when we read in John chapter 1 and 11, when it says he came unto his own, who is his own? Right? All right, based off the precept we just pulled. I ain't sure if you jammed up, cannot, no sweat. If y'all want to answer online.
Salaki, sir. You're talking about his people, the Israelites, the 12
Right,
tribes of Israel.
his own is talking about the Israelites, and we just proved it with that precept, right? But it said also in this verse that his own received him not, right? So if he's going to the Israelites and his own did not receive him not, you know what I'm saying? Who are the of his own that didn't receive him?
Salaki, sir, the same folks, the Israelites.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a much he went to his own people and taught amongst his own people that salvation was for them. Right. But you had certain Israelites that was amongst us that did not believe in Yahushua. You had different sects and religious groups and religious leaders that did not believe that Yahushua was the Messiah. Did not want Yahushua to raise up the 12 tribes so they can get salvation and off of the oppressions of the Romans. You know what I'm saying? The Pharisees was against that, right? Read on.
Con, sir, in Matthew or in John, sir, Salaki.
In John chapter 1
Con,
and 12.
sir. Verse 12. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of the Most High,
Mm-hmm.
even to them that believed on his name.
All right. So who is the as many as received him? Remember the context.
Salaki, sir.
Help me out, Kanat. Go ahead.
We still talking about the Israelites.
Mm-hmm.
It's just saying as many, like however many people that believed in him, however many Israelites from the 12 tribes believed in him, then he gave them power to be the sons of the power.
Right.
It's
As
like,
many amongst, right, you're exactly right. You know what I'm saying? As many as amongst the Israelites who believe, that's who became the sons of God. You know what I'm saying? But for those that didn't believe, they were not considered the sons of God. You know what I'm saying? Or they were against trying to raise up the sons of God. You know what I'm saying? You still had Israelites among us that did not believe in this truth. You know what I'm saying? And you fast forward today, there is no different. You know what I'm saying? You got some of us still in the Christian church. You got some of us still in the Muslim mosque. That's still following all type of religion, refuse to believe in the truth of this Bible. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that this truth is for everybody on this earth. It's not talking about it's for every race on this earth or every nation on this earth. You know what I'm saying? This truth is only for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. This Bible is only for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? Christ only came for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? And those that didn't believe, was majority of them was coming from the Pharisees. You know what I'm saying? The people believed them. The common folk, the poor folk, you know what I'm saying? The people that was the publicans and the sinners, you know what I'm saying? Christ healed them and rose them up. You know what I'm saying? But it was hard for the rich and the lawyers and the Pharisees and the aristocracy of the Jews and the ones that come from a prominent family and the priests. It was hard for them to believe in Yahushua. And it was hard for them to want the children of Israel to be raised up. You know what I'm saying? Because like we stated before, the Pharisees was getting paid off by the Romans. They were appointed by the Romans to rule over the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Let's get that in John 19. Is it John 19? So lucky. Let me get John 11. My bad. John 11, start me at verse 45.
Con, sir.
Go
The book
ahead.
of John, chapter 11, verse 45. Then many of the Jews which came to Mary and had seen the things which Yahushua did believed on him.
Many of the who?
Many of the Jews.
So even his own believed on him, right? But the Pharisees was a different sect of the Jews that didn't believe on him. You know what I'm saying? So you had Israelites that did believe, the common folk, the people that he healed in Galilee in the ghettos. You know what I'm saying? But the rich folk that was getting paid from the Romans, they didn't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to read why they didn't want to hear what Yahushua had going on, right? Read on.
Con. Verse 46. But some of them went their ways to the Pharisees and told them what things Yahushua had done.
Mm-hmm.
Then gathered the chief priests and the Pharisees a council and said, what do we? For this man doeth many miracles.
Right. So they counseling amongst themselves. They sit down discussing about what we gonna do about this cat, man. This cat that's doing all these miracles and raising all these people up, giving a blind sight. What we gonna do about this guy? Read on.
Verse 48. If we let him thus alone, all men will believe on him.
So if they
And the
meaning if I could pause you there real quick, if they left
concert.
him alone, you know what I'm saying, he would start to gain power. They would stop following the Pharisees and turn to Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that they didn't want, right? Read on.
Concert. And the Romans shall come and take away both our place and nation.
And who shall come?
The Romans
Mm-hmm.
shall come and take away both our place and nation.
What does that mean?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Just like you were saying, like they'll give up their high seats, they best places. You know, they was getting paid, so the Romans will stop paying them, stop giving them tribute, or stop letting them be over the people. You know, just like today's so-called blacks, the black and Hispanics, Native American leaders that's entwined with the government. If they stop dealing with the government, then the government gonna put them at a lower state, and they don't want to be in a lower state like the rest of the folks.
Right. Because who's the one that's appointed them to be above the people?
Salakia, sir, the oppressor.
Right. You know what I'm saying? And that's no different with the time of Christ with the Pharisees. Right? This scripture right here just proves who appointed them to be over the people. You know what I'm saying? They was not afraid of the Most High, of serving the Most High and doing what's right according to the Lord. You know what I'm saying? They was more concerned of what the Romans can do to them. Right? Because the Romans are the one that gave them their wealth and gave them their riches to be over the people. You know, the same way you have cats like Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar. You know what I'm saying? The reason why they're rich and wealthy, because our oppressor pays them and funds them just to keep you pacified, just to keep you asleep, just to make sure that black people don't get a sense of want justice for themselves. Just in case black people want to unify and mobilize together and organize as a nation, they make sure they keep that separated and destroyed and desolate. You know what I'm saying? That's their role. And that was the role of a Pharisee at that time. You know what I'm saying? These guys was not serving the Most High. Even though they had the laws of Moses, even though they had the scriptures and the scribes, you know what I'm saying? They was not doing the commandments of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? They was just doing whatever the Romans told them to do. You know what I'm saying? And today, that is your Christian pastor. That is your Christian pastor. That is your imam. That is whatever religion you following, except for joining with your nation. If you following any other God, just know that the reason why they have that religion is to make you a servant to that God. You know what I'm saying? If you following any beliefs except for the beliefs of this Bible or the words in this book, you know what I'm saying? They just making you a servant unto them. You know what I'm saying? And if you in the Christian church, you are a servant unto your oppressor. They ain't teach you nothing in there but white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? They don't teach you how to build up the black community, to raise up this nation, to following the laws of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Rather, they teach you that the laws are done away with. They tell you that you ain't got to keep the commandments of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And you know where they get all of that from? They get that from your oppressor. Nowhere in the Bible does it state that the laws are done away with. You know what I'm saying? Nowhere in the scriptures does it say that we got to do away with the laws. You know what I'm saying? Listen, let me get Matthew 5:17. I'm going to prove to you that Christ did not come to do away with the law. You got the most dominant and prosperous religious group that's telling you that the laws are done away with. You know what I'm saying? And they're not quoting this from the Bible, right? You got Matthew 5:17. All right, you go ahead.
Kind of. The book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I am come to destroy the law or
Mm-hmm.
the prophet.
Mm-hmm.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
What is Christ saying?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
Saying the same thing you've been saying since we got on. Like, Christ ain't come to destroy the law. He following the law. Don't think he came to do anything different for what's going on. He just came to show us and to fulfill the law, to show us how to do the law in spirit.
Right. Exactly. Like he's saying, don't even put it in your mind. Don't even put the thought in your head to think that I came to do away with the laws. Or I came to say that the Old Testament is done away with and we ain't got to follow the Old Testament no more. You know what I'm saying? The scriptures say that he came in the volume of the book, meaning from Genesis to Revelation, it don't contradict itself. You know what I'm saying? It's a steady pace on what it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? It's consistent on what it's talking about. You know what I'm saying? And Christ did not come to do away with it, but to fulfill it. Meaning he came to do and keep the commandments of the Most High. Right? Read on.
Concert, verse 18. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass,
To heaven and earth.
one
Yes. Read on.
concert, one jot or one tittle shall
Mm-hmm.
in no wise pass from the law
Right.
till all be fulfilled.
Right. What is that saying?
Slocky, sir, saying it's saying like from the least to the greatest, from every law to every statute and commandment, not one is done away with. All of them
Right.
is still going on.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Every single commandment is still in effect till this day. Not near one of them is done away with. You know what I'm saying? And Christ is saying till heaven and earth pass. Right? The heaven and earth that he's talking about is when you look up in the sky, that's the heaven that you're looking at. You know what I'm saying? And the earth is the ground that you walk on. Right? You're still seeing those things day by day. The earth is still here. I'm saying you can still look up and still see the heavens and still see the clouds and the sun and the stars and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, if you still see those things, that means the laws are still in effect. The laws will always be in effect. And that's from the least of them to the greatest of them. One jot or one tittle, one crossing of the T, dotting of the I, every single law is still in effect, and we must keep them as Israelites. You know what I'm saying? As chosen people of the Most High, these records is what can save us in the hellhole that we suffering in America today. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is your pastor telling you that the laws is done away with? When love thy brother as thyself can end black on black violence. You know what I'm saying? Thou shalt not eat abominable things can help the health condition that we suffer at an alarming rate in America, man. From the heart disease, all type of diseases that we suffer from here in America because we ain't following the dietary law. You know what I'm saying?
Slocky,
There's many methods that we can follow that can save us in this condition. Go ahead, Triple Canut.
nah, sir, Slocky, I just want to jump on the point that you said it was very heavy. You said that to love thy brother as thyself is one of the commandments. Just think about if all the millionaires had that followed that law. Like if they put all their money together, it can be up to like almost probably a couple $1 billion. They can help every brother in the United States, every
Yeah,
family that's in United States that's in poverty, if they follow the laws and statutes of the Most High.
man.
Salaki.
And now that is true, man. You know what I'm saying? You got people like Oprah, you know what I'm saying, who is a billionaire in America, right? Instead of funding a school in Chicago, which is the ghetto that she comes from, she sells all the way across the Atlantic and builds a school for some African, you know what I'm saying, that has nothing to do with her. We don't descend from Africans, man. You know what I'm saying? Just because we're dark skinned don't make us the same people. You got people right here in America that's suffering right now. You know what I'm saying? Evictions is about to skyrocket real soon in America, man. During that pandemic, they say the racial inequality increased, man. More blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians were suffering poverty due to the pandemic. Now, where was your pastor at, man? He's telling you that the laws is done away with, but when the law teaches you how not to be selfish, the law teach you how to take care of your community and take care of your own. But they're so occupied of loving our oppressors, man, that they forget about their own. Just like a Pharisee, man. You know what I'm saying? Just like a Pharisee. But Christ came to show us how to keep the laws so we can overcome our oppression. Right? Let's be on.
Con. Verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so,
Mm-hmm.
he he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right. He shall be called least in the kingdom of everybody want to go to heaven, right? You mean not
Kind
one
of
person that won't, you know what I'm saying, that won't tell you that they want to go to heaven. Every Christian think they saved, highly favored, and they know for certain that once they die, they gonna float in the sky and live with Jesus all day. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? Not only is that a not, true according to the Bible, that's a fairy tale according to the Bible. But let's just say you want to build up heaven and live in heaven and live in the sky all day. But guess what? Christ just said, if you're not keeping his commandments, and then you teaching men not to keep them as well, guess what? You're gonna be least in the kingdom of heaven. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be the least in the kingdom of heaven, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is looking for his people to keep his commandments. The laws was never done away with. It was never done away with. Neither did Christ teach that. This is coming out of his own mouth. That whoever teaches anybody that the laws is done away with, he gonna be least in the kingdom of heaven. So guess what? Your pastor T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, I think what did Creflo Dollar say? That it's a sin to keep the commandments. That Satan wants you to keep it because he knows
Yeah.
that you can't keep it. Something like that.
Yeah, something like somebody you gonna sin if you keep the commandments or something like that. Fool, what that
God,
the ignorant Negro said, man. It didn't make no sense any damn way. Salaki.
God, man, it's ridiculous, man. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they tell you to pay tithes every Sunday. And guess where that's
What's
found at? Go ahead, go ahead. Can I help me out? Go
nah,
ahead.
but no, Salaki. So I ain't me to. I'm just saying, like, what's the logic in that? If they tell you to do something one thing, but turn around
Mm-hmm.
and tell you to do another thing, and the thing that they telling you to do is the same thing they telling you not to do, ain't that crazy? Ain't that confusing?
Man, listen, what is that? What word sums all of that up?
Confusion to me, sir. Salaki. I don't know.
Right,
Like maybe you had another
right, right.
word in mind.
Now you're right, man. Based on the topic today, that's hypocrisy, man. You know what I'm saying? A hypocrite. Tell you to do one thing, but do the whole opposite of what they telling you to do. You know what I'm saying? Your pastor would say the laws are done away with, but he makes sure he keep the laws of paying tithes. Long as that money is flowing inside of that church, you can do whatever you want to do because that is the only commandment that he cares about. Well, guess what? What about what you eat? God cares about that too. Who you lay down with? God cares about that too. You know what I'm saying? What holidays you celebrate? You know what I'm saying? You join into your oppressor. God cares about that just as much he cares about tithes, man. So if you're gonna tell the people to keep paying tithes, tell them the whole truth, man. You know what I'm saying? Or else you're just a hypocrite. Or else you're just a Pharisee, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue on, Warrior.
Kind of on concert in the middle of verse 19. But whosoever shall do and teach them,
Shall what?
but whosoever shall do and teach them,
Read on.
the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Guess what? The Lord wants you to do, mean keep the commandments. He also want it to be taught amongst blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. You know what I'm saying? And your religious leaders has failed of governing the black community. They have failed at governing the Hispanic and Native Indian community, man. How you got the book in your church all day, but we're number one in deaths here in America. We're number one in incarceration. We're number one in bodily ailments, deaths here in America, man. What have you done for your nation, man? What have you done for your community? You claim to be blessed by God and have the word of God and Jesus in your back pocket, but yet you can't even help the people that's not even a mile away from you, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you have failed, man. You have failed at being a so-called leader. And Christ came to do away with these leaders. You know what I'm saying? And the men in the Isupk who really follow Yahweh, we are taught to keep the commandments, man. You know what I'm saying? And as keeping the commandments, guess what? We're gonna teach other brothers how to and sisters how to keep the commandments. And sooner or later, the Christian church is going to be obsolete, man. The Christian church will be vacant. It's happening now. So many people is running out of that Christian church, man. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of our people is making an exodus out of that Christian church. You know why? Because after so many years, our people are starting to realize it's always been a hustle. It's just been a hoax. They got rich and wealthy while we starved and died in the ghetto, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to beg your oppressor for a damn stimulus check. Meanwhile, your pastor has all that money in that collection plate. I'm talking about millions of dollars in that collection plate. He can't even give you a stimulus if you need one, man. This is who our leaders are, man. And this is who Christ came to warn us about that we have to separate from, right? Let's continue on, soldier.
Concert, verse 20. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye shall no case enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right. Now, why is Christ saying this? Right? He said, I
Salaki,
came
sir.
not to do away with the law. You know what I'm saying? But unless your righteousness exceed the righteousness of a Pharisee, you cannot get the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead, soldier.
Salaki, sir. Because Yahweh know that the Pharisees was like you say, they was being hypocrites. They was telling the people to keep the law, but they wasn't keeping the law themselves. They was doing things up under the table and behind closed doors. So Yahweh already knew. He say, unless you exceed, like, yeah, they know about the law, but you got to do the law. So
Right.
unless you do above what they doing, you ain't gonna see the kingdom of heaven, because they ain't gonna see the kingdom of heaven because they not keeping the law.
Damn right, man. Damn right, soldier. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly it. You know what I'm saying? They love to tell you how to be righteous and a woman of God and all of that stuff and a man of God. You know what I'm saying? But they themselves are not doing what they telling you to do. You know what I'm saying? We haven't learned nothing by sitting in that Christian church. They love to say how holy they are because they got money and cars and all that stuff and preach about prosperity. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, they don't do nothing for their people. And this is who we learn from. Our righteousness as a people got to exceed the righteousness of a pastor, man. You know what I'm saying? Your pastor breeds homosexuality. Your pastor breeds pedophilia. You know what I'm saying? And your pastor breeds selfishness and greed. As a people, we have to supersede all of that, man, and be better than that. We have to be better than what our oppressor is trying to get us to follow. And the only way you become better is by serving the Most High and picking up a Bible and learning the truth, man. That's the only way. But if you sit in the church and only listen to what your pastor has to say, guess what? You're going to be just like him. It sounds good. He thinks he's talking about love all day. You know what I'm saying? But he's just teaching you how to be selfish. Right? Love according to man is far different what love is according to God. Love is just not what makes you feel good. You know what I'm saying? The love that they teach you in today's society is just selfishness. That's all they teach you. They don't really teach you what love is really about, man. Love is really about sacrifice, man. It's about compromise, willing to endure. It's about tough times and sticking together. That's what love is really about. You know what I'm saying? But your pastor tells you to be selfish and cut people off and think you better than people. You know what I'm saying? That's not what's building up the nation. That's destroying the brotherhood amongst us. You know what I'm saying? And you can think you holy and righteous all you want. If you're not keeping the commandments like love thy brother as thyself, you is an abomination. You're least in the kingdom in the eyes of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be least in the kingdom of the Most High, man.
So like you, sir.
Go ahead, soldier.
And I was just going to say, love thy brother as yourself, not only talking about the brothers, it's talking about your sisters too. Because
Damn right.
a lot of sisters don't have the love for their sister like how they supposed to. They still envious and jealous of their sister for no apparent reason. Like we all have been damaged and broken down by the oppressors the same way. So it
Same
ain't
way.
just talking about us brothers loving each other. It's talking about our sisters loving each other too. So like,
Right. Not the water for bringing up that point. I'm glad you brought up that point. You know, because I want you to understand the people that's in this class. Brotherhood is just not talking about just brothers. Brotherhood is sisterhood. You cannot have sisterhood without brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Even how it mentions love thy brother as thyself is mentioned it in a masculine sense, but it still applies to the sisters as well. You know what I'm saying? Like it still applies to the sisters as well. Also, for sisters to show that towards a black man, or show that towards a Hispanic man or a Native Indian man. You know what I'm saying? Not only do you have to show it amongst ourselves as sisters, but you also have to show it amongst the men that the Lord told you that should be heads over you, man. You know what I'm saying? We lose interest in each other because we're learning from the wrong source. You're learning from a Pharisee, you're learning from a pastor if you're sitting in that church. The only way you're going to get this truth is by the man Isupk. That's the only way. You know what I'm saying? And your righteousness will exceed the righteousness of a pastor. You may not have his wealth. You may not have his Rolls Royce and his three-piece suit and all the money and all the fame and notoriety. You may not have that, but at least you will have dignity. You know what I'm saying? At least you will have integrity and honor and righteousness, man. And that's what the Most High looks for, right? Let me get Matthew 23 and start me at verse 2, Baba Kashah.
come, sir.
All right,
This
go
is the
ahead.
book of Matthew. It's like this is the book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 2. Salaki, so you said verse 2, right?
Come, Baba
Or you
Kashah.
want to start at verse 1 for context?
Yeah, I guess we might as well, right? Since we right there. Yeah, you go
Okay,
ahead.
Salaki. Salaki,
No,
sir.
that's good.
The book of Matthew, chapter 23, verse 1. Then spake Yahushua to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat.
Right, what does that mean?
Salaki, so it was like how you were saying earlier that they the leaders of Israel. They sit in the high places. They supposed to be, the watchmen or the you know, the heads of Israel.
Right, yeah, exactly right. You know what I'm saying? They have the law with them. They have the records of Moses with them. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 3. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do.
Right, meaning what? Whatever they tell you, yeah, you should do it. You know why? Because they have the records of Moses with them. You know what I'm saying? This is what it means when Yahweh Shah said, unleash your righteousness exceed the righteousness of a Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? These records are true. They have these records, but they're not properly teaching us how to keep these records. Right? Read on.
Khan. But do not ye after their works.
But do what?
But do not ye after their works.
Read on.
For they say and do not.
Right. What does that mean?
Salaki, sir, like we've been saying the whole night. Hypocrites. They
You know what
tell
I'm
you what
saying?
to do and they don't do it themselves.
Right. You know what I'm saying? To sum it all up, this is what Christ is calling them. You know what I'm saying? They say one thing but do another. They have the laws and the records of Moses with them. They have the Bible on the pulpit. You know what I'm saying? They're singing those songs and it sound all wonderful. You know what I'm saying? But what is your pastor really doing behind closed doors? You know what I'm saying? And guess what? And we have to wipe away that spirit away from us of the Christian church. Because even in the truth, you know what I'm saying? You might have the headpieces, you might have your head all wrapped. If you're a sister, have the nice head wrapped and the dress down to the ankles, you know what I'm saying? And you have the nice garment with the war belt on you. But if you have all these things and you lack brotherhood, you're just a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? If you don't have sisterhood and brotherhood amongst you in that Christian church with your community, you're just a hypocrite, man. You know what I'm saying? The Lord requires of us to keep the law, to love thy brother as thyself. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how much your garment looks or how nice your three-piece suit look, or how expensive your car is, man. What should matter the most is what they're actually teaching you. You know what I'm saying? You should know how to conduct yourself as a brother or a sister. Don't try to be smiling in somebody's face and then behind their back you gossiping about them. You know what I'm saying? You telling stories about them. That's not brotherly nor sisterly to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't go and be next to somebody and smile in their face and try to stunt on them. Meanwhile, you know they ain't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? That is not brotherly or sisterly to do. You know what I'm saying? And all these things you can find them, you can see them doing that in the Christian church. They stunting on each other, like Officer Nashad brought up during Hebrew Academy. You know what I'm saying? They don't know who got the biggest hat. The big hat club. You know what I'm saying? Everybody every Sunday they coming in with the big old hats. You know what I'm saying? Trying to flex on the next grandma. They got the big hat. You know what I'm saying? They trying to come in with the nice alligator shoes and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? They put them in the front row. The one with the nice shoes, the nice three-piece suit, they get front row seat to pastor. You come in with sneakers, some beat up Converse, or some sandals, they put you all the way in the back to make sure the camera don't even get a glimpse of you. You know what I'm saying? Because they're all vain and hypocrites, man. You know what I'm saying? And we should not be like that. We should perfect our brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? We should perfect our sisterhood. We should start preferring each other more than we prefer ourselves. Treat each other better than we treat ourselves, man. And you'll watch and see this nation will grow, man. It can grow overnight as long as we adhere to the words of the Most High. The minute we decide not to do them, we continue to be destroyed. Right? Let's continue on, soldier.
So verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne.
What did your pastor do? Read that one more time.
For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne,
Read on.
and lay them on men's shoulders. But they
Mm-hmm.
themselves, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers.
Right. Now, give me some examples of this heavy burden or this what is grievous for us to be born. With certain things that our so-called leaders put on our shoulders, you know what I'm saying, but they themselves are not willing to man up and do.
Salaki, sir. Like you say, they're not willing to give to the congregation. They not, and the heavy burden to me, being in
Mm-hmm.
the Christian church, is all them damn other kind of ties. The building fund, the deacon board fund, the motherboard fund, pastor celebration day fund. Like they have
Yeah.
like, they have so many ties in one Sunday. It's like before you know it, that's why they select it. That's why they got ATMs in churches now. I'm scared to go into church. It costs more to go into church than it is to the club.
God. And if I may too, to add to your point, that's the one thing that did not shut down in the Christian church during the pandemic. While the church doors was closed, while Sunday service was shut down, the one thing that was not shut down that was a part of you to do was pay them damn tithes.
Damn
You know what
right,
I'm saying?
sir.
God, I got that point. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue on. If you,
Oh no, so I just
that
want
was
to
it.
say like it, like how you said, and they calling people out. Have your name on the board. They know
Man.
who paying the tithes and who ain't paying their tithes.
Mm-hmm. Con. Nah, you
And that,
exactly right. Con. That is no, my fault. Let me cut you up.
oh no, go ahead. So I was just saying, and that's supposed to be like one that's supposed to be done away with because that's the law. But
Right.
they calling people out on them.
God, they make it a
Right.
heavy burden, man. They make it a burden for you to bring that money in, even though you late on rent, even though you don't have no groceries in your fridge, even though you walking wherever you go. They put that burden on you. Meanwhile, when it's time for your bills to be paid, guess what will pass that? He nowhere to be found, man. When it's time for your lights about to get cut off, he's nowhere to be found. But he makes sure you sending that tithes money every Sunday, man. He makes sure of it. Like Trooper Canuck said, he got your name on the board, calling you out in Sunday service, talking about you got a demonic spirit because you ain't want to give. It's a lot, man. I'm traumatized. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? What they did in church, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? It's evil and wicked what they do in that Christian church, man. You know what I'm saying?
damn
They
right.
put these burdens on our people. Meanwhile, they ain't willing to do nothing for the community. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue on.
Come on, concert. Verse 5. For all their works they do for to be seen of men.
Mm-hmm.
They make broad their.
Phylacteries.
I was about to get it too. Phylacteries.
No
The
sweat.
water, sir. The water, sir.
God,
They
what's up, bro?
make broad. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the border of their garments.
Right. So Christ is letting you know what a Pharisee does, man. How a Pharisee operates. Right. At that time, these were the so-called religious leaders. And the way you can identify them today is what Christ is saying right here. You know what I'm saying? Your pastor loves to be seen of men. Why do you think he got that Bentley in that car? Why do you think he dressed the way he do? You know what I'm saying? He wants that title of a man of God, but not willing to do the work of a man of God. You know what I'm saying? He loves to be seen and on TV, you know what I'm saying, with the money and the wealth and the big church and the lights and the drums and the music, you know what I'm saying? But he ain't willing to really put in work, boots on the ground, get his hands dirty for his mission. You know what I'm saying? He just want to be seen. He make broad the borders of his garment. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like those Steve Harvey three suits. You know what I'm saying? The
Oh,
jacket go all the way down to your knees. You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you.
You
With
got
the
to
big
expect
handkerchief.
to. Right. The big handkerchief. You know what I'm saying? Before he can wipe the sweat off his bald head. You know what I'm saying? All day. Think how much you should pay money, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And this is something that we have to step away from. This is who we supposed to be learning righteousness from. This is who we supposed to be learning morality from. How could you learn morality from a person like that, man? Somebody so selfish like that. Don't be like that in so much where just because you have certain things and the Lord bless you with certain things, don't be like your pastor and look down on other brothers and sisters that don't have that, or treat brothers and sisters different because they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? We have to perfect this brotherhood so we can exceed the righteousness of a pastor, of a Pharisee. You know what I'm saying? Salaki, you said Salaki, my bad. I'll keep
Oh,
going.
law, sir. I didn't say nothing.
Okay. Let's continue on, so.
Come on, concert. Verse 6. And love the uppermost rooms at feasts
Mm-hmm.
and the chief seats in the synagogue.
Right. What is that talking about?
Like you say, sir, they love to be in the forefront. They love to love like they like to be seen at the at they seat. You ever notice? I don't know if you ever noticed, but at churches, how they have like the pulpit and then the pastor's seat, it look like a little throne, and then all the other seats are a little
Right.
lower than
Kaka.
the yeah, you know you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about?
God, I know exactly what you talk about, man. When I was, going to the Christian church back then, it was set up the same exact way. I guess they all set it up that way. You know what I'm saying? Where they have that
Kind
one
of
little seat and they have the seats on the side. I guess they for the guests the guest preachers or whatever they are, or the main ushers or whatever. You know what I'm
Kind
saying?
of on a concert. Yeah, but his seat is taller than everybody else's. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yep.
His
Yep.
seat, yeah, his seat is taller than everybody else. Like the scriptures say, the uppermost seats in the
Mm-hmm.
synagogue, the chief seats in the synagogue. They like to be in the uppermost room.
Mm-hmm.
Like they like to be seen. Like the pastor is like, man, that's so wicked, man. He
Yeah, man.
like
Con.
like
They want to be seen, man. You know what I'm saying? And this is why we conduct ourselves in our neighborhood, man. Listen, we are obligated to love thy brother as ourselves. There's no reward, no trophy, no statue behind it. You know what I'm saying? You think you're gonna be some world-renowned person because you're doing what you're supposed to be doing? Yeah, we wasn't even supposed to be in this position in the first place. We the one that messed up. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is your pastor will never take accountability for that. He will never will. He'll never say it's my fault that over 300,000 abortions are happening in a year. Your pastor will never say it's my fault that 500 black men is dying in a year due to gun violence. He'll never say it's my fault that is a millions of black, Hispanics, and Native Indian men in prison. You know what I'm saying? Because our oppressors trying to lock them all up. You know what I'm saying? He'll never say it's his fault, man. You know what I'm saying? But here in the ISUPK, we are taught accountability. You know what I'm saying? And you got to realize that the Lord has given all of us a chance. And we got to be willing to supersede whatever we was doing in that Christian church. Go above and beyond, even with this brotherhood, even with this sisterhood, man. Regardless who sees, regardless if you get views on likes and all that stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? What's most important? You helping out another brother. You helping out another sister. Taking care of your nation. And guess what? The Lord will give us a mighty and strong nation. And we'll rule over this planet Earth, man. You
damn
know what I'm
right.
saying? Yusef says Salakia like they want to sit at the head of the table, right? You know what I'm saying? Just like Trooper Canuck said. Or up on the platform, etc. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or even how they have their church all big, mega churches, big like that. What's the point of having a mega church? Really? Like, what's the point of it? Like, they those churches be as big as a whole stadium, man.
So like it, sir. And like
Con,
you
go ahead.
say, what's the like you say, sir? So like that's heavy too. Like, what's the point of having a mega church when you don't use it in the time of need and the time of crisis? Nobody can come in. Like nobody can. You can't utilize all that space in that room, which the congregation been paying for through them tithes and the building
Right,
fund. What's the
right.
use of that when you don't let them utilize that? So like,
Kind of. Oh, nah, you exactly right. That was heavy. You know what I'm saying? A perfect example of that was Joel Osteen. You know,
that's what
he'll
I was
never
thinking about.
forget.
So Salaki.
You know what I'm saying? But many of our people still go to his church. You know what I'm saying? And when the hurricane came, what was it, like 2 years ago or a year ago or
Come on,
so?
come.
You know what I'm saying? The hurricane came to Houston, man, he locked those church doors. I mean, he had a whole stadium where he could have sheltered blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? To make sure they was safe from this storm. But you know what he did? He went back to this $1 million mansion, you know what I'm saying, and stood there and locked his church door while your house toppled over by the hurricane. You was left to
Right,
fend for yourself, man.
right,
You know what
sir.
I'm saying?
Salaki. In
Now
the
go ahead, so
scriptures, it's like you say, the scriptures say you know them by their works, you know them by their fruit. Like if you had in the right mind, you should have left that congregation, you should have left that church right
mm-hmm.
after the storm. Like this your pastor,
Exactly.
he's supposed to be a man of God, he's supposed to be the shepherd, and he won't even let his sheep in their time of need. Nah.
Yeah, man. How selfish could you be, man? That's a heavy point. I just want to add to that what you said, man. Like, how selfish could you be? All every day, all day, every day, you're trying to point out the red flags in people. You know what I'm saying? Trying to see what's the problem with them so you can immediately cut them off. You know what I'm saying? But your pastor's showing all the telltale signs of somebody that's a narcissist and a creep and a thief. You know what I'm saying? He's showing all the red flags. You know what I'm saying? But you love to stay in that Christian church. You know what I'm saying? Because he has the money, he has the nice music, he has the lights and all that stuff. You want to stay there. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's time to cut your pastor off. The same way you don't talk to your cousin no more and all your loved ones, your friends and family. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want to see if you have the guts to cut your pastor off, cut your politicians off, cut your mayors and these Congress, cut them off, man. You know what I'm saying? They've been using and abusing you for far too long, man. Also, Rayala said, mega church and the surrounding ghettos destroyed. Right, damn right, soldier. You got a big old church in the middle of the hood, right, dead center in the black community. Got a whole mega church. You know what I'm saying? Where even pastor flies a helicopter just to get to that church. Meanwhile, you suffering around the perimeter. You know what I'm saying? The houses around that church is damaged and destroyed, and people barely got food to eat to get them through the day, man. You know what I'm saying? That is nothing but hypocrisy. And we got to constantly check our spirit, you know what I'm saying, and check ourselves as so-called, you know what I'm saying, men and women of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And making sure that we day by day perfect ourselves in brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, it's a long walk. This Christian church did a number on us, man. For generations from generations, we've been taught this white supremacy, man, religion. But coming out of it, man, we have to be extraordinary brothers, man. Be a goddamn superhero to a black man or Hispanic man, man. You know what I'm saying? Be the inevitable, be somebody that they can never believe could exist in their community. You know what I'm saying? That's what we gotta be amongst our own people, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue on, soldier.
Come, sir. Verse 7. And the greetings in the markets, and to be called of men, Rabbi, Rabbi. But be not ye called Rabbi.
Right. What does rabbi mean?
Slacky, sir. I think that means teacher, right?
Right. Come means teacher, right? Read on.
But be not ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren.
Right, man. You know what I'm saying? They love the title. They love to be doctor. What's he? He a doctor, ain't he? I forgot that guy. I just forgot his name, man. TD Jakes, my bad. Dr. TD Jakes, ain't he a doctor?
Shoot, Salaki, sir. Just like Commanding General Yohana say, all these Negroes want to have doctors and PhDs in front of their names, and niggas ain't never, they ain't nothing.
It ain't even nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Half of them never even stepped in the medical field to go to school for that title to be in front of it. Even if they went to school for that. You know what I'm saying? They'll even make you a man of God. My fault, Trooper Kun. I don't mean to cut you off.
No, sir. I was just saying, sir. What you're saying is right.
Most on Christ, you know what I'm saying? Like we love those titles, man. You know what I'm saying? We love to be praised and have those statues. And listen, one main responsibility, who's responsible for that is Dr. Martin Luther King, man. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Martin Luther King is responsible for that as well. In this sense. Meaning this guy, you know, of course he was not teaching the words of the Most High, but teaching you nothing but white supremacy and how to join your oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And while he was living, it's not like he was loved and praised by white America. You know what I'm saying? He was killed by the goddamn devil himself. You know what I'm saying? And when he passed, that's when they want to praise him, build him statues, and made him a model for black people to follow after. You know what I'm saying? And we want to pattern our lifestyle after that in hopes that when it's all said and done, that America can praise us and make a holiday after us, you know what I'm saying, and build a statue for us, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, goddamn America and all the praise that it got. You know what I'm saying? When the way that they were spreading Christianity was through the sword. You know what I'm saying? America is the most greatest hypocrite nation on this earth. America loves to police the other nation and act like the police of the world. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they can't even get their own nation together. They can't even get their own country together. You know what I'm saying? They love to say how Christianity is all love and democracy is for the people. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, in America, you know what I'm saying, when they spread Christianity, they did it through lynching and murder and rape and robbery. You know what I'm saying? They pushed their democracy agenda by capitalism and being selfish and cutting each other off, man. You know what I'm saying? They say one thing and do another. You know what I'm saying? And this is who your pastor learns from and teaches you to be the same way. Right? Let's drop that. Man, the whole thing. We're gonna come back to 23. But I want to get a few more for time's sake. Let's get John 8 and 44.
Come on, sir.
Start me up at start me up at 33, Baba Kasha. Or 32. 32. 32.
Come on, sir.
Go on.
The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free.
Right. So this is Christ speaking. And when he's speaking this, he's speaking unto the Pharisees, the so-called leaders of the children of Israel, right? Read on.
Come. They answered him, who be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage. Oh, Salakia, sir.
Mhm.
Verse 33. And they answered him, we be Abraham's seed, and were never in bondage to any man. How sayest thou, ye shall be free?
Right. So they're replying back to Christ like, what do you mean be free? Can't you see how I descend from Abraham? Like, in what way could you would that is synonymous of what you hear today from your leaders? How is what certain things Christians say that's similar to the spirit of what they're trying to say, right? So Christ is telling them, listen, be in bondage. You know what I'm saying? You're in bondage right now. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not following the Most High, right? You're serving yourself. You're serving your oppressor. And they're like, nah, man, I'm Abraham's seed. You know what I'm saying? I got the law of Moses with me. I sit in Moses' seat. I got the borders and my garment is nice, and I got the three-piece suit. When they say they Abraham seed, what's the spirit of what they say?
What Salakia, so what they trying to say? Like they a child of God? Like I know most Christians say, like I'm a child of God. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm like, what trying to think like a Christian, but that's so damn hard. Like since I've been in the truth, since I've been in the truth, I can't even fathom the thing like that. It's like so you might have to take that one.
Nah, listen, that's a good one too. That's a good one. You know what I'm saying? I'm just thinking of a particular one. You know what I'm saying? Right? Yusuf, yeah, that's correct as well. But there's one in particular that they love to say that I'm thinking of. That is correct also. They do be saying that.
So like so they say they saved by the blood of Yahweh.
Thank you. They say, you know what I'm saying? They love to say they saved all day, every day. You tell them what they doing is wrong. You know what I'm saying? That they living in sin. They only reply they say to you, I'm saved. I'm sanctified. I'm covered by the blood of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make it to heaven. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, they live in a lifestyle that's against the Most High. A lifestyle that will for sure will not get them to heaven. You know what I'm saying? They live in a hypocrisy, you know what I'm saying, and the hypocrite lifestyle. You saying you saved and going to church and saying Jesus all day, that don't make you saved. You paying those tithes don't make you saved, man. It don't make you free. Changing your life and doing the will of the Most High is the only way we're gonna get free from our own lust, from ourselves, and from this oppression. You know what I'm saying? So that is how you know that your pastor carried the same spirit as a Pharisee, man. These Christians carry the same spirit as a Pharisee. Right? Read on.
Con, sir. Verse 34. Yahushua answered them, Verily, verily, I say unto you, whosoever committeth sin is it Salaki. Whosoever committeth sin is the servant of sin.
Mm-hmm.
And the servant abideth not in the house forever, but the son abideth forever.
Right, man. They are slaves to their lust. They are slaves to whatever the Romans could give them, regardless if they're Abraham's seed or not. They think they're men and women of God. You know what I'm saying? But they're only service to themselves, right? Jump me down to 44 for time's sake.
Con, sir.
The water word.
Book of John, chapter 8, verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil,
Mm-hmm.
and the lust of your father ye will do.
What does that mean?
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
But it say ye are of your father, the devil. It's saying like all the wants and the pleasures and the lust of the oppressor, you want the same thing. Like you want to do whatever he doing. You
Mm-hmm.
want to mimic him. You want to live his lifestyle and reap his benefits of the murder and rape and robbery of our people. So you can't you are the devil, the deceiver. That's your father.
Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like you're mimicking him, right? A son tends to look up to their father. You know what I'm saying? They try to
Con.
mimic their father. You know what I'm saying? And what he's saying here that these Pharisees carry on the same spirit as the oppressor, man. You know what I'm saying? They following and trying to pattern themselves after the oppressor. And that is no different from your leaders today. America was built on hypocrisy. So that means the Christian church is built on hypocrisy as well. Because that's where we learn Christianity from. You know what I'm saying? Your leaders is following the ways of America. What you think they're gonna teach you? America is nothing but full of thieves and murderers and criminals and people who only follow their own self and their own selfishness. So what makes you think they're gonna teach you anything about God? Teach you anything about morality? But they love the title. They love to say how much they're saved and covered by the blood of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? But really, they're only following white supremacy. That's all they're doing, man. They're patterning their ways off of the ways of America and not the ways of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue on.
Con, sir. He was a murderer from the beginning
Mm-hmm.
and abode not in the truth.
Right. Who is this murderer that Yahweh Shai is referring to?
Salaki, sir. He talking about Cain,
Mm-hmm.
but he's
He
talking.
go ahead. Now go ahead, Soda.
No, I was saying like I was saying that he's talking about Cain,
Khan.
the spirit that Cain had. Salaki.
Khan, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And who did Cain kill?
Salaki, sir. He killed his brother Abel.
His brother. His own flesh and blood he killed out of jealousy and spite, man. You know what I'm saying? And your leaders is teaching you how to be cruel and show hatred towards your own flesh and blood, man. They ain't giving you no strength in brotherhood. It's nothing but hypocrisy all day, every day, man. And if you saying how much you love God, but don't love your brother, guess what? You are a liar. Because
Con.
you ain't never seen the Most High. But you see your brother all day, every day. And if you out there trying to destroy him, trying to hustle him, trying to do anything, you know what I'm saying, but claim to be a woman of God or a man of God, you know what I'm saying, have the Jesus piece around your neck, you're nothing but a hypocrite, man. You're playing both sides of the fence. You know what I'm saying? You want to stick to something to stick to it. All right? If you be wicked, go out there and be wicked, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be righteous, there's only but one way to do it. It's only one way that you could be righteous, right? For time's sake, we're gonna drop that. Let me get Matthew 7.
To Matthew 7, sir.
Khan Baba Kasha. Matthew 7. We're gonna start at verse 14.
Come, sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 14. Because straight is the gate.
Like my bad. Start me at 13. One verse above it.
Come, sir. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And many there, Salaki, and many there be which go in thereat.
Right. What is this talking about?
Like Salaki, sir, it's saying it's saying like when you it's saying like coming to the truth, coming to the ISUPK and learn the truth, how to serve the Most High, because you go any other way like a thief, like you know what I'm saying, it's gonna go into destruction. Like all these other fake Israelite camps, they ain't coming in the straight way, they going around about. They trying
Khan.
to get in, trying to go in and fit in any kind of way they can instead of coming in the straight way like the Most High ordained it to be.
Khan. Because remember what we talked about last week, right? That narrow path where it's so narrow that you got to go one at a time, and then you have fire on one side and water on the other side. You know what I'm
Cut
saying?
out of my content.
This is where Christ is getting that analogy from. Meaning, in order to get the kingdom of the Most High, in order for us to be a nation, we have to get on that narrow path. You know what I'm saying? And that narrow path, being that the context is talking about your Pharisees in the Christian church, that narrow path is getting out of that Christian church and following the commandments of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But what's wide and broad is to be selfish, celebrate birthdays, eat pork, crab, shrimp, and lobster, walk inside that Christian church and say you are a woman of God or say you are a man of God. That's wide and broad to do. You know what I'm saying? Because many is following off of that path. You know what I'm saying? Many of our people love the titles and love the accolades, but few of our people are willing to do what it takes to really serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And Christ is telling us to follow that narrow path. You know what I'm saying? Follow that narrow path, because the wide path is only going to lead to further destruction. And look at us today as a nation. We're destroyed because of it. We're destroyed because we lack brotherhood. We lack sisterhood. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause we want the titles, but we don't want to go out the way to actually show love. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to go out the way to actually be loyal. You know what I'm saying? To be righteous. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to say it, but it's another thing to do it. You know what I'm saying? And it's not really established unless it's tested. You know what I'm saying? Love is never really established until it has been tested. You know what I'm saying? Well, here is your test in life. Your test in life is to love the people that nobody loves, to take care of the people that everybody forgot about, to exhaust all your resources, all your time, and everything, all your abilities to a people everybody can give a damn about. That is your test in life, man. And you have to push and push to meet that goal. And that's the only way we're going to get salvation on this earth. Right? Let's continue on.
Common concept, verse 14. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way
Mm-hmm.
which leadeth unto life,
Mm-hmm.
and few there be that find it.
Right. He's reiterating the same thing. Right? Let's read on.
Come, verse 15. Beware of false prophets,
Beware false prophets. Read on.
which come to you in sheep's clothing,
Mm-hmm.
but inwardly They are ravening wolves.
What's that mean? Help me out, Kanat, or whoever on the
Uh,
chat.
Salaki said, it's saying, beware of these Christian pastors.
Mm-hmm.
Beware of these people that say they are the Lord and men of God, but in the inside they just looking to for their own gain. And even if it means destroying you in the process.
Because if you see a sheep, right? What do you like? What the characteristics you'll see a sheep as?
A sheep is harmless, sir. Salaki.
Right. Nah, Khan, you're exactly right. Harmless, gentle, just in the pasture, eating his grass. You know what I'm saying? And then what about a wolf?
A wolf is a predator.
A predator. They're more fierce. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They hunt. They eat their food, they eat meat. You know what I'm saying? That's how you think of a wolf. You know what I'm saying? A wolf goes amongst a sheep, and you see the sheep scatter. They run away. You know what I'm saying? All in different directions just to get away from that wolf. You know what I'm saying? What the Lord is saying, a false prophet, you know what I'm saying? Somebody that don't teach the truth according to the Bible. Somebody that's telling you that the laws are done away with, even though he has smooth words and talks softly with the music playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Inwardly, that is somebody that is a wolf, man. That's looking to devour and scatter the people. You know what I'm saying? And your pastor and your leaders, they are wolves, man. Your politicians, they love to gas you up during election time. That black, I'm gonna do this for the black community. I'm gonna do this for the black community. You know what I'm saying? One day, do this. I'm gonna do that. We're gonna get this right. Soon as they get elected, guess what they do? Not a damn thing, man. You know what I'm saying? Outwardly, they look like they love you. They talk like how much they love you. You know what I'm saying? But inwardly, they're only there to destroy you. You know what I'm saying? Right. The sheeps are the wolf's prey. You know what I'm saying? Exactly right. Also, right. You know what I'm saying? We are the sheep. The Lord considers us the lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's in Matthew 15 and 24. You know what I'm saying? And the wolf is a known predator to the sheep. And
Right.
anybody that's a wolf that come amongst the sheep is only looking to either devour them or to destroy them and scatter them. You know what I'm saying? And that's what your politicians and your leaders have become. You know what I'm saying? Hold me that real quick. Just pause me there. Let me get Jeremiah 23 and bubbly 25, 23 and 25.
Kana Wakan, sir.
We're going to show you what a false prophet is, right? Read on.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 23, verse 25. I have heard what the prophet said, that prophesy lies in my name.
Right, meaning this particular prophet, what they're saying out their mouth is a lie and it's against the Most High, right? Read on.
Saying, I have, it's like you're saying, I
Mm-hmm.
have dreamed.
Who is famous amongst black people for those particular phrases right there?
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
Orgy Mike.
Orgy Mike. I'm glad he said Orgy Mike. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? He was a man that they love to praise as if he was doing something right for black people. You know what I'm saying? As if he was trying to get justice and march in Washington and bring awareness to the black community. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, this cat was having orgies with white women behind closed doors. They got FBI documents about it. I think he had a white girlfriend, something like a side piece that he tried to hide
Yeah.
from his wife or something like that, right?
Kana Wakan, sir. And I have seen a document that said that his wife was placed there. Like she was placed there because they couldn't have him side by side with a white woman trying to lead an all black what you call it? don't want to say revolution, but you know what I'm saying. Like
Right.
that
All
was
black
they,
movement.
yeah, a black movement with a white woman as his wife. Like you know what I'm
Right.
saying. So I heard that I seen that they said they put that sister there like in the start in the beginning. Like in the beginning, like you say, he had a white woman.
Mm. So she was just like the crack dummy. She was just like the placement, just to show face that he cares about black women.
Yeah, yeah. It seemed like
Yeah.
okay, this is a wholesome man. He got a wife,
Right.
a black wife. He got
Right.
kids. To paint that image in the whole background. He ended up having orgy with white women.
Ka. Yup. He is. Listen, the Bible calls him a liar. That dream that he had was a lie. That dream that Martin Luther King had became a nightmare for black people, man. Us trying to integrate with white people, we done lost all our businesses, done lost all our wealth, and further destroyed our communities, man. But there was one business within the black community that did exceedingly well during the civil rights movement. Do anybody know what that business is? Right? While we was marching and begging to join the white man's businesses, getting our heads beat by batons by police officers, and getting dogs sicked on us, and water hose sprayed on us, you know what I'm saying? And watching our buildings close down because we're rushing into the white man's businesses. There's but one black business, you know what I'm saying, that did prosper during the civil rights movement and still prospering to this day.
Slovakia, sir.
Go ahead.
The prostitution of white women. No, I'm just Slovakia. Because that's what you might like. That's what he like. Slovakia, sir.
Ah,
uh,
I mean,
Slovakia.
I mean,
The,
God, go ahead.
Slovakia, sir. Slovakia. The Christian church, sir. Slovakia.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? Which is also part of prostitution of white women as well, man. You know what I'm saying? It's the Christian church, man. You know what I'm saying? That's who got rich while we starved and died during the civil rights movement. That's what the civil rights movement was all about. Just making sure the rich stay wealthy and the poor get poor, man. Your black leaders was not in it for you. It wasn't trying to get you equality and justice and money in your pockets, man. They was only trying to get money in their pockets. But meanwhile, they sold you a game. They told you a whole lot, gave you a whole fantasy about some dream about, white boys and white girls and black boys and black girls holding each other's hands, man. When that has never been the reality for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, man. We're still being oppressed till this day. And we still believe that lie running in that Christian church till this day. Because it's all a
Slovakia, sir.
hypocrisy. That's all it is, a hypocrisy, man. It says one thing, but the whole complete opposite happens. Go ahead, soldier. You got it.
And I was just finna say, sir, I'm just sitting here thinking about it. If our people weren't so blind and just use their mind that the Most High gave them,
Mm-hmm.
after they seen this man get killed by the oppressor, they should have known that integration was not a good thing. Like the
Right.
same people that he trying to bring us together with and talking about no non-violence and doing this and all this marching is the same people that put a bullet in your head and you think I'm gonna continue on with this. That should have let them know, like, that's a red flag right there. Like, this ain't gonna work.
God. Damn right, soldier. Damn right. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump back to Matthew 7. Just wanted to point that out, right? That's who the Lord told you to be aware of. You know what I'm saying? To look out for, right? What was that, verse 15?
Verse 16, sir. Lucky.
All right, you go ahead, soldier.
The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 16. You shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of what it is, thistles?
Yeah, this was
That's
right. Right? When
kind
you
of kind
gathering grapes, are you gathering it for the thorns? You know what I'm saying? You're hoping that grapes are being produced, but when you sow in a grape seed, you know what I'm saying? You hoping figs come out or when you sow in a fig seed. and not thorns and weeds and thistles. You know what I'm saying? You hoping that it grows into something that can produce a lot of grapes and a lot of figs. You know what I'm saying? Well, let's examine the fruit of Martin Luther King, of the civil rights movement, of the Christian church. Examine it. What has it done for the black community, man? We just said this not too long ago. Our businesses are destroyed. Our neighborhoods are destroyed. We got on drugs during the 60s, man. While the white man was flying to the moon, we got on dope. Meanwhile, we was told that we should join our oppressor, man. And the result of it was the fruit of it was that you got on dope. You know what I'm saying? You got further destroyed as a nation by following the hypocrisy of Christianity, man. By loving your oppressor more than you love your brother. By looking like a woman or a man of God, but not showing an example of that towards your brothers and sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got till this day. That's what the Christian church still produce till this day. Because that's what, furthermore, if I may add, you know what I'm saying? Before the damn civil rights movements passed, we had businesses. Am I lying, Canuck? We had businesses.
Lies, sir. We
We had,
had business.
right. I'm talking about prospering in our communities, not just getting by. You know what I'm saying? We was doing exceedingly well in our communities, man. From Black Wall Street, Harlem, Chicago, Detroit, Washington, D.C., we was doing good, man. In the Carolinas, even in Florida, they had a town called Rosewood. We built universities before we can even was allowed to integrate with our oppressors, man. Howard University, you know when it was founded? Howard University.
Lies, sir.
Howard University was founded around the 1800s, before the civil rights bill passed. What else? HBCUs they got. They got
Lucky, sir.
Lincoln University. You know what I'm saying? Before the civil rights bill passed. Go ahead, soldier.
They got Bethune-Cookman.
Bethune. All
I
that
don't
was
know if that's before.
what,
I don't know if that's before integration, but I know that's a HBCU.
okay. You know what I'm saying? But Howard, Lincoln, what else, man? There's a
But
few that they built before the 1800s. Go ahead, Trooper.
no, I was finna say is Morehouse's one is that one of them, sir? So like I'm not quite sure.
I gotta double check the date on that, but I'm probably sure it was. You know what I'm saying? What was the reason why for us building these universities? What was the main reason why?
It's lucky, sir, because the oppressor didn't want us going to their school. So we
Exactly.
needed, yeah.
Go ahead now, finish my fault.
No, I was just gonna say, so we needed a college of our own, and come to think of it, we was smarter than them. Like we from slavery all the way up until then, we did everything for them. They didn't know how to do nothing. We
Nah,
did everything. We built the houses, we farmed the lands, we tended to the cattle. Everything we did, we built and we did it. They didn't know how to do none of that stuff. So that goes to show you that we were smarter than them, even in with the little bit that we did have.
damn right,
So,
man. Nah, damn right, man. And the fruit of the civil rights bill, it has been nothing but thorns for us. The fruit of the Christian church has been nothing but thistles for us, man. It hasn't produced nothing beneficial for us as a people. But it loves to say how great it is. It loves to expose itself of being something righteous and holy, you know what I'm saying, when it is nothing but the den of thieves, man. That's all the Christian church is. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be a hypocrite in the eyes of the Most High. Because the Lord sees what you do. He sees what you do and how you deal with your brothers and sisters, man. You can be in that church all you want, screaming and dancing all day, every day. Soon as that church service is over, God is still watching, man. And he sees how you treat your family, man. He sees how you treat that poor black man that asks for $1. He sees how you treat that Mexican sister, man, that's trying to sell corn in the neighborhood. God sees all of that, man. And if you treated them with any type of cruelty or mistreatment, you're just a hypocrite, no matter how much you're in that Christian church. And that's what all the Christian church produce, the fruit that it produced, right? Let's continue on, soldier.
Con, sir. Verse 17. Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit,
Mm-hmm.
but a corrupt tree bring forth evil fruit.
Right. And it just makes sense. A good tree is going to bring good fruit, but a corrupt tree, meaning a dry tree, is going to bring none but branches and fit and sticks and twigs. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Verse 19. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down,
Is what?
and cast is hewed down
Mm-hmm.
and cast into the fire.
What is this saying? Uh-oh.
Oh, Salaki, sir. That sounds like shit. Like you ain't bringing forth good works, good tidings. You ain't doing what's right. You get cast out. You get judgment upon you. Whoa, destruction.
Destruction. Damn right. That's what's going to happen. I mean, the Lord is making a shift in the black community, in the Hispanic community, and the Native Indian community. You know what I'm saying? It's been far too long where these Christian pastors then got rich off of us, selling us a pipe dream. You know what I'm saying? Selling us the game, man. Filling us up with false hope and lies. You know what I'm saying? Lord seen all of that. And these so-called leaders, and if you're a hypocrite behind them, that's what the Lord is going to do away with you and raise up righteous men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing in the ISUPK. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is going to raise up new leaders to govern blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And then we're going to be taught the right way in serving the Most High. We're going to be taught the right way in being a true servant of Yahushua or being a follower of Jesus Christ. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be taught the right way. You know what I'm saying? And not how the Christian church has taught us. And being selfish and being busybodies and gossiping and talking down on each other and looking down on your brothers and sisters, man. That has destroyed us as people. But not any longer. Not no more. You know what I'm saying? The Lord is getting ready to make a change, right? Read on.
Con, sir. Wherefore by their fruits ye shall know them. That's verse 20. Salaki.
All right.
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, Baba Kashar.
Verse 21. Now everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven,
Mm-hmm.
but he that doeth the will of my Father which
That
is
do
in
what?
heaven, doeth the will of my Father
Mm-hmm.
which is in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Many will say unto me in that
Oh,
day,
you can stop right there. You know what I'm saying? But
kind
those
of,
that do the will, meaning what? What does that mean?
uh, the who's are doing the who's following the commandments.
Exactly. Those who's actually keeping the commandments of the Most High, man. You know what I'm saying? Those that do what the Most High said to do, like love thy brother as thyself, love thy sister as thyself. Those who's actually doing the work, you know what I'm saying, and not just talking. Because many will say, hallelujah, and Jesus, I prophesied this, in the name of Jesus, that. But nobody's willing to do the work. Nobody's willing to sacrifice for a change. Nobody's willing to take a loss just to make a difference, man. Everybody's only worried about themselves, worried about their own feelings, worried about their own emotions. You know what I'm saying? And that has made us destroyed as a nation. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're going to learn the truth on how we should conduct ourselves as people is only in the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. That's the only way it's going to get done. That's the only way. Because guess what? In here, your love will be tested. Your loyalty will be tested. Your righteousness will be tested. And those that endure, well, guess what? It'll be manifest that you are a righteous and a loyal and a loving brother or sister, man. You know what I'm saying? Because this is what it's all about, right? Let's drop that. Let me get bubbly. Let me get First John 20, Baba Kasha. Yeah, what's up? But the corn our Mexican families be selling is delicious. They're right, man. Burritos and all that, man. I used to live in California. You know what I'm saying? They used to, man, listen, that food is amazing. You know what I'm saying? But you got our people that want to, be under MAGA and following Donald Trump and trying to be like the oppressor that will speak against a Mexican. But yet they in the Christian church talking about how God loves everybody. You know what I'm saying? That is hypocrisy, man. You
It's
know what I'm
like
saying?
you, sir.
You can't say you love everybody but hate God's chosen people. Go ahead, soldier.
You said First John.
Yeah, Baba Kasha, let me 1 John 4 and 20.
Con. The book of First John, chapter 4, verse 20.
Mm-hmm.
If a man say, I love the power,
Mm-hmm.
and hateth his brother,
And do what?
he is a liar.
Mm-hmm. Read that part for me one more time again, Baba Kasha.
Con. If a man say, I love the power,
Right. Well, what your pastor do all day, read on.
and hateth his brother,
And hate his brother. Talking about the people of his nation, of his race. Read on.
he is a liar.
He's a what?
He is a liar.
That's what God said, man. God said if you say that you love God, but your actions don't show it by how you treat your brothers, you're just lying, man. Because guess what? They go both hand in hand. How you treat your brothers and sisters is a reflection of how much you love the Most High. You don't really love God if you don't care for your own people, man. If you don't care for your own race. If you're out there trying to undermine your brothers and sisters. If you're looking down on your brothers and sisters, you don't really love God. But those that really love the Most High will love the people of the Most High as well. Love their brothers. Right? Read on.
Con, sir. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen,
Mm-hmm.
how can he love the power whom he have not seen?
Right. How could you say that you love God, but you ain't never seen God in your life, man? You think he's a white boy at that. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, a nigga starving in the ghetto in your own community, you can care less about. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really love God if you don't love his people. Let me get 5 and 3 real quick. What is this?
Con.
How does this love looks like? Read on.
The book of John, First John, chapter 5, verse 3. For this is the love of the power, that we keep his commandments.
That we do what?
That we keep his commandments.
Read on.
And his commandments are not grievous.
Look, man, it's not hard for us to do. You know what I'm saying? Treat your brother like you want to be treated. Start there. You know you damn well you don't want nobody to sleep with your wife. You know what I'm saying? Well, guess what? Don't sleep with nobody else's wife. You know damn well you don't like nobody mistreating you and gossiping about you and trying to undermine you. Well, guess what? Don't do that to nobody else. You don't like nobody hustling you and shorting you out of some bread. Don't do that to nobody else, man. These are the commandments of the Most High. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not murder. And there's plenty more commandments. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep the commandments of the Most High, by default, you know what I'm saying, you're displaying brotherhood. You cannot have brotherhood without the laws of the Most High, man. Because that is the standard of what love is. Or what man decide what love is selfishness. What we decide what we think love is just selfishness. Because as soon as it don't benefit us, we ready to do away with it. You know what I'm saying? But the laws of the Most High is true love, man. And it teaches us how to endure with each other, how to strive with each other, how to reconciliate our differences and join with each other, man. And these laws can do that for us. But somebody's trying to tell you that it's done away with. But guess what? That person is a liar, man. Go ahead, soldier.
No, I was just going to say we've been taught the oppressor's love. The oppressor say he
Mm-hmm.
loves something and he'll kill it in the same hour.
Man, God, you know what I'm saying? He talks about love. He talks about how America is just a loving country and we just, we love everybody. We got to spread love and forget about slavery. Slavery's in the past. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, 9/11 just passed not too long ago, a couple days ago. You know what I'm saying? And when them crazy Arabs flew a plane into them buildings, your oppressor did not just love those Arabs. He didn't go out and try to hug the Taliban and Al Qaeda and to join them in the civil rights and the rainbow. You know what he did? He packed up jets and missiles and the military and went to war with them Arabs, man. Went to war with them Taliban and them Al Qaeda. You know what I'm saying? Because he understands justice for himself. But once we want justice, now it's hate speech. Now it's slavery in the past. Now you got to forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Well, that is hypocrisy, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's who we learn from. That's how we learn love from. We learn love to be a servant to our oppressor. Let me get 2 and 9 real quick. Have a shot.
1 John 2:9, sir.
Come, Baba shot.
Come. The book of 1 John chapter 2 verse 9. He that said he is in the light and hated his brother is in the darkness even until now.
Right. You say you in the light. You say you covered by the blood of Jesus. You say you a soldier and you this and you that. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't willing to look out for your own people. You know what I'm saying? You're just a liar. You're still in darkness. You know what I'm saying? And we're here to give you the light. We're here to tell you that your whole life has been a lie. No matter how good you thought you was, or how nice and friendly you thought you was, man. You know what I'm saying? You were still a wicked person. But there is a opportunity for you to get right. There is a way for you to get it right. You know what I'm saying? And this is how you get it right. By keeping the commandments of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? And loving thy brother as thyself. By separating from your oppressor and separating from the Christian church. That's how you get it right. That's exactly how we get it right. And that's how Christ taught us to get it right. Anybody that's telling you otherwise, he's just a hypocrite. Just like a Pharisee who had the seat of Moses, who had the fringes and the borders of blue and made sure the people was keeping the law. You know what I'm saying? But meanwhile, there was in deals with the Romans, only worrying about themselves, only worrying about their wealth. You know what I'm saying? But they appeared to the people like they cared about the people, but they only cared about themselves, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, we should be the complete opposite of that. You know what I'm saying? We should become brand new, like how Christ commanded us to be brand new. You want to wash away anything you learned from the Christian church. I mean, everything, every attribute, every behavior, no matter how good it sounded. You know what I'm saying? You want to completely wash yourself of it and become brand new. Start from scratch. Build yourself up from the bottom up. You know what I'm saying? And relearn how to be a brother. Relearn how to be a sister. Reprogram your mind in operating in the righteousness of the Most High, right? So let's drop that. Bubbity, bubbity. Let me get Psalms 55 and 21.
Con, sir.
Okay, you got it.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter,
Mm-hmm.
but war was in his heart.
But what?
But war was in his heart.
Right, man. Words smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. Says one thing, but does another. Read on.
Con. His words were softer than oil,
Mm-hmm.
yet were they drawn with swords. Yet were
Right.
they drawn swords.
Right. They tell you that Christianity is the religion of love. But meanwhile, this country was built off of murder. They forced your ancestors into believing that bull crap, man. They brainwash your ancestors and believe in that bull crap. Anybody that of our people that try to resist it was put to death. But meanwhile, you make it seem like it's something wonderful and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? When it is completely against God. You know what I'm saying? If you following Christianity, you are following white supremacy. That's all it is. Right? Drop that. Let me get James 1 and 26. It's gonna be the last one. We got time. Now let me get 3 and 10. Let me get 3 and 10 instead. James 3 and 10. Now start me at verse 8. Baba Kasha.
Con, sir.
Mm-hmm.
The book of James, chapter 3, verse 8. But the tongue can do no man tame. Salaki. But the tongue can no man tame. It is as an unruly evil, full of deadly poison.
Right. The tongue, meaning the words that you speak, man. You know what I'm saying? The lack of discipline and self-control. It's hard for people to take control of. It's hard for people to take control of the words that come out their mouth. You know what I'm saying? People will say one thing, but the actions will be the complete opposite. Right? Read on. I'm on mute if you're reading Triple Canal.
Salaki, sir. I was on mute. Salaki.
Kinda, no sir.
Verse 9. Therewith bless we the power, even the Father, and therewith curse we men, which are made after the similitude of the power.
Right. You ain't never seen the power, but you seen your brother. And your brother's made off of the similitude of the power. You know what I'm saying? But the same tongue that you use to praise Jesus with is the same tongue that you use to curse your brother, to talk down on your brother, or to mistreat your brothers or sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not teaching you morality, right? You know?
Verse 10. Out of the same mouth proceeded blessings and cursings. My brethren, these things ought not to be, are not so to be.
Right. This cursing represents what? Is that saying like saying curse words, or what does that cursing mean?
Sluggers, is that like saying like wishing bad upon your brother? Like wishing evil upon them?
God, God. like offenses. You know what I'm saying? Your same breath come out blessings, and the second breath is offenses. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily talking about curse words, but depending on how it's used, are you using it to offend a brother or sister? Are you using it to hurt a brother or sister or talk down on a brother or sister? You know what I'm saying? And this is including those subliminal ass mother, cats that love to get on the internet and do subliminal speakings. You know what I'm saying? This includes that as well. You know what I'm saying? Because those thoughts that are coming into your mind transfers to your fingers and you write it down on that keyboard, you know what I'm saying? And it's easily translated out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? All those things you have to take care of and perfect this brotherhood. Go to him and him alone. Go to her and her alone. You know what I'm saying? Or else you're just a hypocrite. Or else you're no different from a Pharisee who had Christ killed. It was the Pharisees that got Christ killed. You know what I'm saying? We just read how the people believed in Christ. It was Jews that followed him, other Israelites that followed him. You know what I'm saying? But the rich of the Jews, the rich of the Israelites turned on Yahushua, man. The ones that was getting paid by the Romans turned on Yahushua, man. Because they did not really love their brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to be like that, right? Read on.
It's like you said, verse 10. Doeth a fountain send forth at the same place sweet water and bitter?
Mm-hmm.
Can the fig tree, my brethren, bear olive berries, either a vine figs? So can no fountain both yield salt water and fresh?
Mm-hmm.
Who is a wise man and endureth? It's like,
No, so
who
take
is
it.
a wise man and endued with knowledge among you? Let him shew out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom.
Right. By his works, by his action, also by the words that come out of his mouth, his order. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's talking about, right? Read on.
Kind. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your hearts, glory not and lie not against the truth.
Right. Meaning, if you have this in your mind, the heart that it's talking about is your mind. If you have bitterness and envy and strife in your mind against a brother or sister, guess what? You're lying against the truth. You're lying against the words of the Most High. You're lying against what Christ was set here to do, was to unify blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You know what I'm saying? But your mind is against that. You know what I'm saying? And if your mind is against that, guess what? The eventual words that come out your mouth is going to come from the thoughts in your head. The actions that you do is going to come from the thoughts that's in your head, man. That's what it starts at. Remember when Christ said, if you even see a woman and you lust after her in your mind, you know what I'm saying? You are still guilty of sin. I'm paraphrasing. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where it starts at. It first starts in your mind, and then your actions follow behind it. That's what your arm and your legs is gonna follow to do. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do is control your spirit, control your mind, control the words that come out of your mouth. Learn to think better and do better. Learn to perceive your brothers and sisters how the Lord wants you to perceive them, which is the way that is written in this book. Right? Read on.
Kind. Verse 15. This wisdom descendeth not from above, but is earthly, sensual,
Mm-hmm.
devilish.
Right. It's carnal, man. Strife, envy. You know what I'm saying? It's all stems from carnality. The Lord created all of us. You know what I'm saying? We all eventually gonna pass away when the Lord desires. The Lord creates, He's in control of life and death, man. Nothing on this earth is more important than serving the Most High. You know what I'm saying? But anything that gets in the way of this brotherhood and of this sisterhood is something that's just carnal, devilish, and just being selfish, man. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
Con. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work.
Right, read on.
But the wisdom that is from above is first pure,
Right, read on.
then peaceable,
Mm-hmm.
gentle, and easy to be entreated,
Mm-hmm.
full of mercy
Full of
and,
mercy.
and good fruits,
Mm-hmm.
without partic-
Partility.
partility
Mm-hmm.
and without hypocrisy.
Without what?
Hypocrisy.
Without what?
Without hypocrisy.
Hypocrisy, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure you're doing what the Lord requires you to do, regardless who sees. Whether you're in the eyes of man or in the eyes of the Most High, nobody sees you. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you always operating in the spirit of brotherhood, in the spirit of sisterhood, man. Right? Let's read the last verse.
Verse 18. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in the peace of them that make peace.
Right. You know what I'm saying? This is how it's done. You know what I'm saying? You reap what you sow. Follow what the Lord told us to do. You know what I'm saying? And the orders and the ways in the ISUPK comes from the Lord as well. Follow the protocols of the ISUPK also, and guess what? You'll find peace. You'll find peace sent from the Most High, man. With that, man, I'm gonna go ahead and shut down the class. Anything you want to add, Trooper Canuck?
Uh, get up in this body, up under Commander Junior Honey, and get up in this truth and get up under this protection, man, and learn the truth. Learn the ways to be brotherly and sisterly and how to serve the Most High, because it ain't nowhere else.
Damn right, soldier. Damn right, man. All right, then, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and shut down the class. The water popping off. Cap will be on tomorrow, law class. And I'll see y'all, Lord allow, next week. All right. Shalom.
Shalom.